As it seems with every Manchester United game right now, this could be the game that gets Ruben Amorim sacked. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Forecast. In today's video, I'll be discussing the preview for Manchester United-Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts about this game down in the comments down below. And if you enjoy this video, it'd be great if you could subscribe and support the channel in the future. So, what are the concerns for Manchester United and Chelsea going into this game? Well, Diogo Dalot is out for Manchester United, most likely with a strain injury. I mean, you could just play Amad as a wing-back, and that wouldn't be too much of a problem. Obviously, Martinez is still out for Manchester United. I really think they could use him, as Luke Shaw really struggled in the last Manchester derby. Mason Mount is also out. I mean, this doesn't come as a surprise. He's often out. But Mount has actually started the season pretty well. He was one of the United's, I think, best players until he got injured. And Matheus Cunha is most likely still out, which leaves Ruben Amorim with limited opportunities of who to play. For Chelsea, Benoit Badiashile is out for Chelsea with a leg injury. Same with Romeo Lavia. I'd say if Lavia is out with a strain injury, this could be a bit of an issue, because I actually think Lavia could definitely make himself into this team, as he's been playing really well when he's actually got the opportunity with Chelsea. Colwell's out, and Diarra Escuga's out for Chelsea, and Liam Delap is also out with a hamstring injury. So yeah, both sides have injuries to contend with, so I don't think this is an excuse for either side going into this game, as both sides have a fair few amounts of injuries. And the actual reason that there's so much pressure on Ruben Amorim is because of how they've started the season, only winning one game, which was against Burnley, and this was unconvincing, and they got away with it a little bit. Not really Ruben Amorim's fault, though, that they got to this point. Manchester United should have probably been clear, and they should never to require a last-minute penalty to win this game. So Manchester United have lost the Manchester derby. They won against Burnley, lost to Grimsby on penalties, drawn to Fulham, and lost to Arsenal. The first two results, I think they could have won that game, and I don't think that's Amorim's fault. Grimsby, I don't actually think it's Amorim's fault, and I know this will be controversial. People go, oh, why is that not Amorim's fault? I could coach Manchester United to win against Grimsby. That doesn't make Amorim a bad coach. My point is, anybody, you should be able to send those players out under zero instructions and they would win against Grimsby. That's lack of skill, but also lack of belief, lack of caring, lack of trying, I think, and arguably trying to get the manager sacked. For me, that's what that game against Grimsby showed. Not that it's Ruben Amorim's fault, the fact that it's also, as well as the players, and more the players' fault. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Ruben Amorim is not at fault for criticism. And if they were to sack him, you'd have to say it's pretty justified, because I think another manager could probably come in and maybe get them to at least top half this season, which I'm not convinced Amorim is going to do. But the problem is that you can make that 4-place progress. You're still not making progress in the right direction unless the club has an absolute reset, which it fails to do, it seems, every year. And every year we get this hope, well, Manchester United fans, I know because I'm a Liverpool fan, get this hope that they'll get back to their glory days, as their chart sings about Ruben Amorim, but they never seem to do. And that's a problem for Manchester United, because they always seem to have this belief, they always seem to have a good summer, but it never results in wins. Chelsea, apart from Bayern Munich, they played every game against London opposition. Drawing to Crystal Palace, they didn't play particularly well in this game, winning against West Ham and winning against Fulham, and then drawing to Brentford, which was a poor performance, and then losing to Bayern Munich. I actually don't think Chelsea have started this well. Even their 2 wins, I think, weren't great. West Ham are crap. Let's not get at the start that result against West Ham is all brilliant in this. West Ham aren't a good side, and they've got away with they've been crap this season, and Chelsea have to beat these sort of sides. And I think we saw the class difference between still the top sides and so the bottom sides when they played Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Bayern Munich, I think, sort of showed to me that there is Chelsea is still not that top side. They're still a 4th place side in the Premier League, and that's sort of where I expect them to finish by the end of the season. And also, this could be an issue for Chelsea, because now that they've lost to Bayern, they've now travelled back from Germany. The fixtures they've got a 3-day gap, so they may have to rest a couple of players, Chelsea, which may give Manchester United a bit of hope going into this game that they can find a way to get something from the Chelsea game. But I don't think they need something. I think they actually need to win, really. Like, you can't keep drawing and losing and expecting to stay in your job as a Manchester United manager. I really think he is on a tight rope now, and it's just more a matter of time. I don't think he's ever going to survive this. I don't think he's going to survive this season. Even if he does, he'll be sacked at the end. That's what I think is going to happen to Ruben Amorim. So this is how I would set up United against Chelsea. So in goal, I would go with Lemans. I think you give him his debut for this game. He didn't get it against Manchester City. I think he's now should be ready to do that, and you can't be worse than Bayinda. And even if he is worse, well, you might as well try something different. At the centre halves, I'd go Yoro, De Ligt, and Luke Shaw. I wouldn't change anything there. I don't think this is as much of an issue as people exaggerate, and I don't think there's many better alternatives. And I think the midfield and the attack is more of a concern. I'd definitely play Amad back as a right wing back because I actually think in some ways he plays better than in those for 2 10s. And Diogo Dalot is also injured. Then I'd go with Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo, a completely different midfield to what he did on the weekend. Casemiro, I think he's slow, and I don't think he's sort of at that top level anymore, but he's better than Ugarte. And Mainoo, I mean, he's sacking himself by not playing Kobbie Mainoo. And if he does this stupid thing again, where he goes Bruno here and Mainoo here, I would lose it if I was a United fan. It just makes no sense. Bruno Fernandes is way better forward, and Mainoo is better when he's a bit deeper, I still think. Mainoo's not a full-out number 6 or a full-out number 8. He does do better a bit further forward sometimes. But Bruno excels in this further forward position, and he continues to cost Manchester United goals. So at left back, then I go Patrick Dorgu. Keep that. I don't see a problem with that. And then I'd go Mbembou, who I think's probably been United's best player. And I definitely think if he just finished a bit better on the weekend, they definitely could have won that game. And then I'd go Benjamin Sesko up front, and that would be my side to take on Chelsea. And I think with that sort of side, they have a potential to get the 3 points. The question is, will Manchester United set up like that? Probably not. He'll probably play Bruno Fernandes deeper, Amad in the 10, and you'll play someone else at right wing back or something crazy like that. Because that's what I mean, where it's like you can't keep backing this manager at some point because he keeps making the same mistakes that everyone seems to be picking out. This isn't something like really radical to suggest this. This is just what a lot of people have been suggesting and what I actually think would actually work for Manchester United. So this is how I would set up Chelsea for this game. In goal, I would pick Robert Sanchez. He's actually been very good in the last couple of games. I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's been impressing me recently. At right back, I'd go with Gusto. If James is fit, pick Reece James, but I think the issue is Reece James will not be fit. But if he is fit, this is what I would do. I'd bring Reece James into right back. In centre half, I'd go with Tosin and Chalobah. But if you've been watching my content recently, you'll be saying what I think Chelsea need is one centre half. These two are decent Premier League centre halves. I don't even think that either one of them is really at that top level you'd expect if you're trying to challenge for a league title, which Chelsea should be in terms of trying to win a Premier League. I don't think either of these two are actually good enough, and they just need a leader in defence. And I think this is part of the issue why Chelsea can keep conceding late / can't quite find the way to win games of football. At left back, I'd go with Marc Cucurella, very solid left back, and has been really impressive in the last year. Midfield, I'd go back to Caicedo and Fernandes. I wouldn't play Reece James in there. I think that this is the best midfield you can pick with Cole Palmer in the 10. I'd keep playing Palmer in 10. This is where I think Cole Palmer excels. I know he would play pretty well off the right, but I still think Palmer is better in the 10. Then I'd go Esteval, João Pedro, and Pedro Neto. I still sort of look at this attack and I go, look, it's decent attack, but what you would actually want to do is you either want to bring Esteval as a bench option or maybe a starter. You want to move Neto over to the right, ideally, and then you want sort of a big signing here. Like, this is where the money could have gone as well, where they spent it on either Byro Gittins or Alejandro Garnacho. I feel like what Chelsea needed here was just a world-class left winger, or like a Rodrigo, a Kenan Yildiz, that sort of level, maybe even an Eze. Sort of a winger that really takes Chelsea to the next level. I'm not convinced either of their two wingers really do that, and that's why I'm actually going to give this game a 1-1 draw. I mean, I actually think United can win this game because of the Champions League football that Chelsea are having to contend with. The fact that they're struggling for fitness. I don't think they have a great squad in defensively recently, and I think Chelsea could come under some pressure in this game. But I don't really think Ruben Amorim's going to go for the United squad that I suggested, which was a bit more of a different squad, having Mainu slightly more drop back, sort of in at 8, and then getting Bruno playing to the team, playing Amad as a right wing back. I think he'll probably stick with his old ways, and that will cost Manchester United not only get a draw. I mean, I think this will keep pushing the pressure on Ruben Amorim, but it won't put him in second territory quite yet. I still think they need a couple of more bad results for this to happen, but I think he eventually will be sacked. Please let me know your thoughts on this game, who you expect to win, who goes in as favourites. Can Manchester United find a way to get something from this game? And if you enjoy this video, it'd be great if you can subscribe as that on the YouTube channel, as that would really help me grow my content.